The problem is that we're like in this highs and lows situation where I had requested specifically an investigation into activities concerning a former Secretary of State, specific to allegations that there were conflicts of interest involving deals that were set up in Honduras and people in Honduras connected to them. And in 2015, the specific financial institution, the American based financial institution I requested be investigated, had a statement, an annual statement that was released. And it mentioned two things in this annual statement. The one I found at the time, I found at the beginning of 2018. One of the things it said was that beginning July 1st of 2019, that organizations, financial institutions, including banks, were going to be required to have greater disclosure concerning sources of funding because of the implementation of various aspects of the Basel Conventions. Second thing it said is that there was different ways that they were analyzing their projected performance of organizations for the upcoming years. And they had specifically identified Hong Kong and Singapore with the metric 151. And I was concerned about this at the time because for some reason it stuck out to me. And I didn't know what exactly this entailed. But I downloaded that statement, put it in my evidence. You know how it goes. Somebody just likes to think the evidence. I guess, what do you think my fucking evidence is there for? Somebody stole it, and I could not find that specific report again. It was almost like I really believe that somebody connected to Citigroup knew I downloaded it and understood that I had been able to track it and specific other things connected to public announcements to a beta testing on an act of civil disobedience, a riot in Hong Kong, that somebody was testing an econometrics kind of situation to see if they could calibrate stock dumps and transfers of other assets to literally cause civil disruption, to cause a riot on the day when a specific benchmark was supposed to be hit, and they were that fucking precise in Hong Kong. And then the correlations with Singapore lined right up too. When I went to all of a sudden my email's hacked. I go to try to find that report again. I can't find that report anymore. There's another version of that report that has a completely different representation of the metric 151. So last year, when the state of Texas thought it was going to be cute and it was going to pass S151, SB 151, promising the teachers up to a 1/3 increase, a 30% increase in salary and benefits without identifying how they were going to do that. And I was like, wait a second. Did Texas get that Citigroup statement? The Texas bank trying to extort the teachers in Texas or bribe the teachers in Texas, keeping their mouths shut about how they plan to make these amortization clause changes to their pension system? And if the teachers kept quiet, they'd get an increase in their benefits up to 30%. Well, see, the thing is, 30% when you're in Texas with a bunch of jackasses down in the legislature playing like they're part of some sort of Masonic ritual that they subject everybody in the fucking state to. 30% in old Mexico meant something very different, especially when you're talking about education, right? But, it's like one of these things where everybody just plays like it's a big old game. And don't worry. Because if those kids get agitated or their speech gets pressured because of all that porno we're dumping into the background, we'll just get them on what? You Benadryl? I just want to know, Ritalin? What are the actual specific pharmaceuticals you expect to peg that next kid to? This is before COVID-19. But let me tell you something. I gotta wrap this up. I gotta get it quick. If you follow that fucking Citigroup paradigm and you cross-reference it with the report on stock earnings and you cross-reference it with public announcements regarding short-term insurance policies sponsored by Citigroup that didn't come due maybe, but provide a future option, and then all of a sudden the day after those short-term policies expire, there's a major transfer on the futures market from Asia. That's just one of the examples. Unfortunately, I don't think their understanding of SB 151 or 151 is the same as mine. A bill that was passed by Orrin Hatch during a time when Clinton wasn't president.